Welcome back to the special live edition of Facing South Florida. Let's bring in a couple of veteran political reporters. David Smiley is the political editor for the Miami Herald, and Steve Bousquet is the editorial page editor and columnist for the South Florida Sentinel. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming in. I do want to start, should we be surprised there isn't a lot of excitement about the primary election that's taking place right now? We're not seeing huge numbers really turning out. Steve, I'll start with you.
Sure. Well, no, I don't think so. I mean, although if present trends continue, the turnout in Broward, at least, is going to be below what it was at the height of the pandemic. So people were able to get mail-in ballots in 2020 in a way they're not getting it today. Now, the effort by the Republicans in Tallahassee, they plotted to make it more difficult to get a mail-in ballot. They're going to say they didn't do that. They did. And so it's having an effect. The question is going to be, this is going to be a very big deal in the general election. I'm using round numbers. In Broward and Dade, you should have about 500,000 vote by mail ballot requests.
Well, I can tell you right now, for instance, in Broward County, among Democrats, in 2020, the total number of mail-in ballots cast was almost 150,000. As of Saturday morning, it was 57,000 had been returned. So almost a third. Right. So it's a very low number.
Yep, and it's as you know, it's.
So you think it's more of a function of them being access to the mail-in ballot? In other words, it's not automatically being sent. You have to request it. They put in more restrictions along that way.
Right. And it is easy to get a mail-in ballot, and I think the supervisors of election have done a pretty good job of constantly pounding this reminder on their websites and in social media and elsewhere. You've got to request a mail ballot. You've got to request a mail ballot. There's not much interest in a primary election. There hasn't been down here for a long, long time. That's just the way it is, but I think it'll change in November.
David, I want to bring you in. What's your take on the turnout?
I agree with Steve. If you look at turnout for August primary elections in Florida in 2020, politics were juiced. Everybody was at home stuck talking about politics because of the pandemic, and we had, 28% vote in the primary. Mail ballots are proven to increase turnout in low turnout elections, and the legislature decided to basically wipe all the requests at the start of the 23 year. And these supervisors of elections have been saying for months that it was a problem, that mail ballot requests were way down. Mail ballot requests are at 50% of what they were previously. That's true statewide, and as a result, the turnout's down. That's not the only reason, but I think it's the main reason.
All right, I want to turn to some of the races. let's stay with you, David, here in Miami-Dade. You heard me ask, why didn't the Republicans try to, if they got all this juice going on, to use your word, in Miami-Dade, all this energy that they've got in Miami-Dade, all these numbers that they're putting up in Miami-Dade, why didn't they try to take out the big Democratic dog in Miami-Dade?
What's the famous Michael Jordan quote about politics? Republicans buy sneakers too. Republicans need county hall approvals too. And the power of incumbency is real. Daniela Levine Cava is an incumbent. And when you have guys like Ken Griffin donating $500,000 to her campaign, that's money that's not going to the other side. I also think it's a little tricky for Republicans having Alex Otaola on the ballot. As you pointed out when he was on your program, they aren't endorsing him. Do they want to endorse against him? They want to advertise on his program. They want to go on his program and talk to his audience. Do they want him to, a guy who was saying he's going to root out communists in Miami-Dade County, do they want to be against him? So I think that's also made it potentially tricky for politicians who might endorse Manny Sid.
When I had Daniela Levine Cava in here, I pressed her on a number of issues, but she has high favorability. She got good marks for how she handled Surfside in the wake of that. So I think she's doing really well. Steve, I wanted to turn to some Broward races for a second, and you and I were going back and forth by email, and you were talking about a couple of school board races that are kind of interesting for you up there in Broward. Talk to me about that.
Sure. Well, I think one of the things to watch closely on Tuesday is the fact that two Republican appointees of Ron DeSantis, you remember that Ron DeSantis basically emptied out a good part of the Broward County School Board a couple of years ago and appointed two guys, Tori Alston and Daniel Fogenholy there, both in South Broward seats. They're both on the ballot. These are officially nonpartisan races, we know, but they're not really nonpartisan. Everybody knows who's a Democrat and who's a Republican. It'll be a huge coup, as I said in my column today, for DeSantis. If either one of these guys wins, I don't think either one of them is going to win.
Do you think, though, that are they advertising that they're DeSantis appointees, or are they trying to downplay the DeSantis appointees part?
They're downplaying it, and there's a lot of noise on social media that Alston is trying to confuse voters that he's really a Democrat. He's not a Democrat. He's a Republican. He's been appointed to a number of things by DeSantis. He's got a good political resume, but it's all, to a large degree, as a result of DeSantis's patronage, frankly. And so Ron DeSantis has to be the single most unpopular political figure in Broward County, bar none. So we'll see what happens.
I want to stay with you, Stephen, in Broward for a second. You know, in the same way that I said, why wasn't there more of a challenge to Danielle Levine Cava? Sheriff Gregory Toney? You know, with all of his myriad scandals, all of the issues there, it seems like he's coasting to re-election at this point.
It does look that way. Part of that is because he's got a ton of money and he's got 3 opponents, none of whom are that well known. The candidate the Sun Sentinel endorsed, you know, is Steve Geller. Not the Steve Geller that a lot of you viewers will recognize, but another man by the same name, a career...
Not the former, what was he, state rep at some point?
State senator, he's now a county commissioner.
Yeah.
But Steve Geller, a longtime professional public safety expert, police officer. You know, it's one of these things where, and I've got a cautionary note for my friends in Miami-Dade. Dade County abolished an elected sheriff in 1966. I don't know how many of your viewers will remember Tal Buchanan, a notoriously corrupt sheriff here. And so
I think we put 3 sheriffs in prison in a row, back to back to back, before they switched it over. It
has been referred to as a 5,000-member political action committee, the Broward Sheriff's Office. It's excessively politicized, not just under Greg Toney, but among some of his predecessors as well. And you know, he's got access to the 6 o'clock news. He's got his name emblazoned all over the county. He's got a lot of money. He just opened this training center, which is notoriously, you know, was over cost. The cost overruns. So voters could surprise us, but I think Toney is probably more likely to win.
But Steve just set you up perfectly, because I wanted to turn to you to talk a little bit about the Dade Sheriff's race. As he says, this is the first time in going on more than 50 years, almost 60 years, that will be electing a sheriff. You know, the general consensus seems to be James Reyes is going to be the Democratic nominee. We're going to wait and see who the Republican is. There's a number of people who are vying for that seat. What sense do you make of this race?
I mean, what are there, 11 Republicans in the race? Yeah. I saw a poll yesterday out of St. Pete polls that said Joe Sanchez was leading with 16%. There's just so many people in the race. I have no idea how you handicap it. How valuable is Trump's endorsement? He endorsed Cordero Stutz.
The woman, Rosie Cordero Stutz.
Right.
But I don't know that she's leaned into that. Maybe I'm not getting those threads in that advertising, but it doesn't seem as if that's helping her much at this point.
Yeah, to be honest, I would not be betting on this race if I was a gambling man. So I really don't know how that's going to shake out. Well, I want to pivot to the Broward Sheriff's, what you were talking about with Toney for a second. Can you imagine if the Broward mayor appointed a sheriff and it turned out later that he had killed a guy? Mm-hmm. Would that police director still be there? Probably not. So the idea that it's more accountable to have an elected sheriff is a little, I'm not sure that the facts play out that way, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things. I do want to turn. We started my block with Alex Rizzo and with Chevron Jones talking a little bit about the condo thing. So I just wanted to close this half hour by talking to both of you about it. Steve, it seems that the legislature really doesn't want to do a special session when it comes to this condo issues. Talk to me about what they need to be doing.
Well,
if anything.
Yeah, I think this problem's going to get a lot worse, and I think the noise that you're hearing from retirees who are a very important part of the voter bloc in South Florida, the noise is going to get louder. They don't really have a solution. I personally don't think a special session makes sense for several reasons. We're too close to an election. The current presiding officers are cycling out in a couple of months. New people are coming in, including the new speaker, Danny Perez from Miami.
Who actually wrote the legislation that everyone is so unhappy with right now.
And DeSantis has tried this once or twice. It's not a good idea. You know this. You don't bring them back to Tallahassee for a special session without having some sort of template for a deal for what you're going to accomplish once you get up there. Special sessions can easily cause problems if you're not well organized.
All right, I gotta take a break here. We'll have you both on. I want to look ahead toward November, abortion, marijuana, all those sorts of issues. So we'll talk more in the next half hour. All right, when we come back, we'll take a quick look at the weather, because that's what you do on a Saturday morning. You look at weather. We'll be right back. Stay with us.